Okay, so we are live. Is everything working as expected? Let's just do a quick check.
Yeah, it might be a bit unexpected that we are speaking English this time.
Yeah, it's pretty unexpected.
Yeah, we are targeting global markets now.
Wait. Just let's see if everything is working. I'm not seeing the chat.
I do.
Could you confirm that everything is okay with the sound and
Just some Polish folks speaking Polish.
Okay. Yeah, it's working. Awesome. So it's Deista here, Kuba, and I'm joined
Michał?
by Michał today. So
That's my name.
And today we will be doing a short live. So it's been a while. I'm not sure if anyone from my subscribers is watching us. This could be a surprise because I haven't been posting videos for a long time. And I was feeling bad about
not that long.
Yeah, but on my channel, I mean,
Yeah, like
in general,
9 months or
yeah,
something.
just 1 year.
Yeah.
And but yeah, getting
just
back
enough for this baby to be born.
Yeah,
9 months.
That's true. And today we are, as you can see, this is like a more professional setting. We are together in a studio, very professional studio.
Jacob and Michael.
Jacob and Michael.
No, please don't do that.
Yeah, and today we are. So maybe before we start about this particular live stream, because we will be doing something related to AI, of course. It's very popular topic right now, and there is Next.js and programming and the future of programming, a lot of interesting topics. But before we start, maybe we should say something about what we just finished, the Nextjs Masters course.
You just did.
So yeah, it was yesterday.
There is that.
And I feel very proud because we had almost.
I feel empty inside.
You feel empty.
So yeah, we need to fill this void.
Okay, we will talk about this. We will talk about this in this live for sure. Yeah, but I just wanted to say that I'm super happy that we had a chance to work with over 800 people.
Yeah, over 850. Yeah.
Yeah. We formed 850 people, which is pretty crazy when I think about that. From the moment when we met, the years that passed, and then we started working on the course about Next.js. It was like a early beginning, new format. And yesterday, people were saying that they are very happy about the format itself, and proud of the achievement, because we were targeting people. We were thinking that we are targeting people that are beginners, but apparently, this was more appealing to more advanced people. Yeah, and today we want to join and dive into more things related more to AI.
Yeah, cutting edge technologies.
See what's happening.
What's cutting edge in French?
I don't know from the top of my head, but I will think about that.
What about bleeding edge?
Bleeding edge, yeah. Not sure, but yeah. So we want to do something more advanced this time. Something that could be appealing to people who want to build on top of AI or want to use AI, want to incorporate AI into their like a programming tool set, I would say.
But it's I would say it's a unique approach because we don't want to do this that high level, but we also do not want to get into too many details. So we'll be doing some compiling, programming, I don't know, C++, Python, TypeScript, JavaScript, obviously, but we will not probably build our own custom models. We will not train models. We will use pre-trained models and what the community provides.
Yeah, but at the same time, we'll be using a lot of...
it's not like we'll be just using, I don't know, OpenAI API and that's it.
Yeah.
We want to get deeper than this.
So that's the idea. So maybe we should start again and saying that we are starting with a new initiative. That's one 0 to 1.
Yeah.
So the idea is that if you're a programmer and you know little about AI and you want to get up to speed and you are overwhelmed maybe by what's happening in the space, we want to give you this context for programmers, for people who are programming, and particularly will be targeting TypeScript programmers, JavaScript programmers, I would say, like a JavaScript community.
Or web developers.
Web developers, exactly. But we'll be also using Python and on other tools to show you what's
but
possible.
We can get into the details later.
Yeah.
And now I think it's 7 Polish time.
Yeah.
So I guess we can get into coding.
Yeah, we could get into coding. So today the idea is so there is like a lot of maybe before we start, I wanted to discuss with you, Michał, this like a meme maybe, or how to say it, like this phenomena where people are saying that all the startups in AI are just a thin layer on top of ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And like every startup
it's
is
not
just
a meme, it's the reality.
Yeah, it's kind of like everything is built on top of OpenAI or like other providers that we'll be discussing today.
Yeah, but we'll get into that. But it's also interesting because if you want to be competitive now, you need to build your API in a compatible way to the OpenAI APIs.
So we'll show that today as well.
So it's super easy to swap between different providers.
Yeah, absolutely. So the idea for the live stream today is to build a coding review, a bot for code review, and to see how easy or how hard it is to build such tool. So during this live, we'll be trying to build like the minimal version, something that's working from the A to Z, from 0 to 1 rather. And during our course, we want to provide you like a more elaborate example.
Yeah, deep dive.
Deep dive, something that could be used to create a startup, I would say.
Yeah, built upon and used to like in a real world to solve real world problems.
Yeah, and that may be a bit, maybe this may sound a little bit ambitious, but I think when we are thinking in a perspective of all those startups that are just a thin layer on top of OpenAI, this could be also a thin layer on top of OpenAI. I mean,
yeah, but let's get into coding.
Okay. So so where should we start? Maybe let's talk about the general architecture we want to have for this project.
Sure. So what we are building?
Yeah. So what we are building a bot, a Discord bot, but our viewers can also like swap that for Slack bot or something like that. It's pretty easy.
We've chosen Discord because Discord is our community tool building, community building tool of our choice.
We can dog food that, and we can like
exactly.
But
and you actually will be able, if you join our Discord later, you will be able to test the live version of this bot on our
as
channel.
It evolves. Yeah. So what we are showing today would be like very basic, but at the same time we'll do the job. We'll provide the task, and you will see how all those elements fit together.
Yep. And we've decided to use the tool that we know best. It's Next.js, which is a wee bit surprising, I'd say.
Yeah,
because why would you use Next.js to build a bot, and how would you even do that?
Yeah, because the first thing that comes to my mind is maybe we should use something like a WebSockets.
Yeah, Node.js basically.
Yeah,
I don't know, maybe
Node.js,
Python.
exactly, something lower level. But we can use Next.js, and I think this will give us interesting properties in the sense that we can start the project faster. That's one thing. The other thing is that Vercel, the company behind Next.js, they also created this library we were discussing recently, AI. Called AI simply, and it's a library that unifies all those like let's say interfaces or like APIs available in this space. So there's a lot of things happening, and I think it's a nice synergy. So I think it's a good choice.
There is also one more reason, and I think it's a good one because initially it will only be a few API endpoints, or maybe just one. Yeah. But as it evolves, we'll need some kind of UI layer on top of that to configure it, to test it,
exactly,
for users to interact with. So outside of Discord, so Next.js provides both the API layer and the user interface.
Yeah, so exactly,
we don't need to use another tool or learn another tool to build it.
Yeah, and having Next.js is also then easy for people who will like want to extend that to create a startup, basically, or just let's say a project, something that could be put on the internet and refined, and maybe they will be able to sell it, because now creating things is relatively easy. I think selling is difficult, and adding this like additional value to that.
Yep.
Yeah, but we are both not good in business, so maybe let's not talk about business here. how to sell. So let's let's maybe start with Next.js. But one thing, there is one thing I wanted to also discuss. So we will have Next.js, and we won't be using WebSockets. So how we will be communicating?
Because typically the bot on I'm not sure about Slack, probably same story, but on Discord the bots typically log in, connect to the Discord via WebSockets, and then they maintain the connection open, so they appear as a user, so to say, which is online all the time.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
but we cannot do this because we will be deploying Next.js on Vercel, but it would be the same story on any kind of serverless hosting. We cannot maintain the WebSockets connection open at all the time. We want to react to certain events on the ad hoc basis.
Exactly. So there are some limitations for our hosting provider, Vercel. We are not associated with Vercel.
But it's the same for Cloud for Workers or Geno or
anything serverless, right? But if anyone wants to host it like the old way, or it's not like in a sense that it's something bad, but I think it's sometimes could be even better to do not serverless. But let's not dive into that.
Yeah.
But anyway, what you described is possible in this case, right? You can have more, let's say, flexibility.
Yeah. So Discord allows for there is another option that we can choose in Discord. It allows for specifying an endpoint that it will send slash commands to. So
a webhook.
A webhook, basically. Yeah. Our webhook in our application will receive the request every time anyone uses slash commands on our Discord server.
So just to summarize, instead of using just something that's pretty natural when you're thinking about like communication on a chat, which is WebSocket, we'll be using webhooks in this project. Yeah. So, and it's pretty easy with Nextjs.
In this case, I would argue it's even better because it's infinitely scalable, because we can have many independent instances of the same serverless function.
Yes, true.
Or V8 isolate running, and they would handle separate requests.
Yeah, because if you were doing it on your own, you'd have to like manage that.
Yeah,
and it could be.
And there is a limit to open WebSocket connections.
Yeah, that's true for one machine or. Yeah.
Either way.
But there's one interesting question here from Krzysztof. What do you think about AI project with Next.js and fast API for the backend? So I think it's nice. I think Python fits pretty well into everything that's related to AI. Yeah, but I would argue that using just Next.js is sufficient here.
Yeah, because I'm not sure if it's clear, but Next.js also contains the API part.
Which we'll be showing today.
Yeah.
So
in the most simplest scenario, you don't really need any kind of backend, separate backend.
Exactly.
You only need Next.js and the API routes.
So we've been repeating that many times, but like in the past, Next.js was like seen as a front-end framework, but now it's like a full stack framework. It's and you can very easily, especially in the Next 13 plus, let's say app router, with the app router approach, you can pretty easily build a backend in Next.js. Yeah, so we have that. So we have Next.js. We'll be using TypeScript. We'll be using AI package as before.
OpenAI package.
OpenAI, but we'll be also showing you today how to do it with other providers. And then we will be also using other things like Drizzle, for example, which is pretty interesting. We'll be storing some state into a database.
Yeah, we'll see if we have enough time to get into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the plan is ambitious.
Okay, so let's maybe get...
Yeah, you will be able to see all that and even more during the course. But let's get into coding, because it's been 15 minutes and we're just talking about the...
you're right.
How do you call it?
Just talking about...
Rys historyczny.
Yeah.
In Polish.
Historic context or something like that. So yeah, let's maybe generate a project.
I already have we've wrote the code, so
yeah.
But yeah, let's start from scratch.
Let's start from scratch. So I think the first thing would be to maybe start from the backend, right, and see how we can start. What would be needed there? So we could like expose already a path that we'll be configuring in Discord, and this path could just return some JSON. What do you think? And see if we can.
Yeah, because the thing I'm wondering if we want to also create a new Discord app or reuse the one that we have.
Maybe let's reuse the one.
Yeah, it will be simpler. But basically, we need to go to the Discord developers portal and create a new application, copy free set of keys, a public key, the application ID, and the private key. And that's it. You're done.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty standard for like every app right now. So whether it's X or like a Facebook in the past, so the process is
Or
the
Slack.
same. Or Slack. You're creating an app and you're getting some credentials, and then you can like interact on behalf of this app with the platform.
Okay, so maybe let's bootstrap the project.
Yeah, let's bootstrap the project.
Call it, I don't know what, Discord bot live.
Yeah, so this is
I'm wondering, because we might want to actually skip all that for the purpose of this live. We might want to skip ESLint, Tailwind. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we don't need that. Yeah, let's skip that.
Let's use
Cersei is okay, and a router.
Yeah. So typically we want to use ESLint and probably Tailwind too for styling, but this time I'm not sure if it makes sense.
Yeah, yesterday we started working on this like a boilerplate, right, for Next.js.
Yeah, Next Up Plus.
Yeah, so like everything that's missing from the typical like a regular.
Yeah,
template.
we had a huge argument about this.
And okay, so we don't need all those like bells and whistles right now. It's just very simple app, and my proposition is that maybe we could just create an endpoint.
Yep.
A post endpoint, and we could like send something like a JSON and return that JSON to see how we can exchange. Basically, I would like to show people who are not familiar with that how to build like the simplest possible backend interaction in Next.js.
So
yeah, this could be like
Next.js generates a few files that we also don't need, like, I don't know, the CSS and favicon. We can just
remove that.
Get rid of all that for now. And we can basically get rid of all this.
Yeah, so this is just
to simplify
the view part, let's say.
So just an empty page. Okay. So now the API route, because
it's a convention, right?
Yeah, you said we want to create an API route, but there is actually no I don't know, designated path that we need to do this under. But typically people create this folder called API.
Simply, yeah.
And then put sub routes in it.
So
we can do the same.
Yeah, you can put it anywhere you want. But as you say, the convention is to use API on top level. So then we can have the special file route. And then there is this naming convention that each function that's exported from that should match the HTTP verb.
Yeah. For example, in our case, export async function.
Let's say post. Get. Okay.
It will be easier to test.
Okay.
This is actually invalid.
Yeah, so the Copilot suggested us the old like a Node API, but we want the new one, which is the web page.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, so the request is the input and the response is the output.
So maybe let me add a type to make sure that we return the right response. And basically, this is our API endpoint. It should be working right now. So let's
return something.
Let's return, I don't know, response.json.
Yeah.
Hello world. And
let's start the server.
Start the server, exactly. And now.
Yeah, if we go to /API.
Yep.
We should see the the message. So we have like the simplest possible backend. And I think the next step would be now to change it to post, because that's how webhooks work, right? That's what we will be expecting from Discord. Let's maybe repeat this process once again, if it wasn't maybe clear, that whenever a person types something on Discord, we'll be intercepting that.
Uses the / command.
Using some like a designated command. We'll be intercepting that and sending that to our endpoint.
Yeah, so via post.
Via post. Because post is where we send data, right? We cannot, I mean,
Yeah.
There was a debate on Twitter. That's what I was
Yeah.
referring to. But we will be doing that with the post method.
Okay, and we can actually test it out as well with
curl or HTTP.
I don't have that one.
You don't have that. Okay. So in this case, you need to specify the content headers as well, right? The JSON one, so it's not serialized.
No, in this case, it doesn't matter because we don't read anything from the body. But yeah, but I will need
of course,
to, I guess.
Yeah.
So we can see that the response is hello world, and it just works. I think, pipe it to JQ. Yes.
Yeah, it's nicer now.
So you can see it.
Yeah, so
it works.
It works, yeah. So we have the interaction, and now I think we should define the body because we will be parsing this body eventually, right?
Yeah. But thankfully, the new handlers API routes in Next.js use Web API standard.
Exactly.
Standard request and response. So we can just do this. That the body is basically await of request.json, and
we can maybe pass this body again, to the response. So we will be just receiving, returning what we are receiving.
Yep.
In this case, you would need to specify the headers and maybe some -d.
Let me do one more thing. Sorry. Oops.
Okay.
I want to always get an object with at least something. I think we need to specify the header, right? Content type
application JSON.
Application/JSON.
It's not working. Okay. Why is that?
Expected end of JSON input. Yes, okay. Obviously, because I didn't provide any body.
So we could do -d, and I think as a string, just empty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It works. So if we say something like, I don't know, name. It has to be valid JSON. So yeah, it cannot be like, it works. So we have that. So now we need to maybe go through a process of receiving the payload. So let's maybe not think about how the payload from Discord looks now, but let's talk about the steps that are needed to receive the input, this payload, I mean, and then what we can do with that. So the first thing that Discord requires us to do is to verify that's the actual response, right? We need to check the signature of the...
Exactly. Each request from Discord contains special headers, timestamp, and the signature, and they need to be used to verify that the request is valid. And the fun thing is that usually this step is highly required on production, but totally optional when in development. However, in case of Discord, it's required even for development. You won't even be able to save the configuration inside the developer portal if your application doesn't validate the request. Because what Discord developer portal does, they send 2 requests, and your application needs to verify and tell which one is valid and which one is not, and you won't be able to do this if you don't implement this process.
Yeah, so that's pretty funny, I would say.
But it's a good practice, I guess. But it makes things a little bit more complex initially.
They also use like a very maybe not strange, but very, I would say, like this algorithm, the signature they are using ED 2551.9. So we need to use like in JavaScript, we need to use this special library. I think they are free.
Let me find that library in their NACL, right?
Yeah, tweet NACL, yeah. But the idea is here that we cannot use like the built-in APIs, right?
We probably could.
I think I was checking that yesterday, and maybe someone from the audience could help us here, but I couldn't see the verification for this particular format. But yeah.
Do you remember where it was on the Discord developer? Oh, I have it. Yeah, there it is, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that was...
It should be this one. I'm not sure why this link doesn't work. Either way, maybe it was this one.
Yeah.
Not really, but okay. But we have the code ready, so we can. Basically, there is a code somewhere in the documentation of the Discord that you basically just need to copy and paste and to make the verification work. But it uses this weird, a bit weird library called tweet and ACL.
Yeah. So maybe because I have this code here.
Yeah, I also have it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So maybe let's just paste it and let's quickly go through it. But the general idea is to take the body as is. So we will be just taking it as text, not as JSON in this case. And just connect it with the public key we have and just check if it's valid or not.
Yeah. So let's, first of all, let's install the
library, yeah.
Is for the sake of verifying the signature. Then we will import it and oops.
Yeah, so we can maybe just copy this entire valid signature. So it's, and let's go for that together.
Maybe let me do one more thing. I'll add prettier to make sure that everything fits on our screen.
Yeah, let's maybe make it
prettier config.js. And we'll make it, I don't know, 50 characters. Okay, now.
This has to be,
yeah, one more thing, sorry.
Yeah.
Type
module.
Okay, now let's go back to the code. Yep. Okay, so now everything fits on should fit on the screen. Let me see.
Awesome.
Yeah. Even with the drawer open, I guess. Yes. Yes, pretty much. Okay, amazing.
So some types are missing. Maybe we could add them. So they are part of the. So we need to. Discord provides this like a library for types, which is called Discord API types, and we can install it. So this helps with the process.
There are two libraries actually for integrating with Discord. One is Discord.js, which is the basically a layer of abstraction above the everything that Discord offers. It's object-oriented and it allows you to build everything using just the set of functions that they provide. But there is also another one, much simpler, which is Discord API types.
So just the types, we could say.
Just types, yep.
And that's what we need. So let's keep it like a very, very simple.
And the last API version of Discord is version 10. Funny enough, Discord.js is version 14, and it uses API version 10, which is very, very confusing.
Yeah. So hopefully it clarifies for people who want to build on top of Discord now.
So anyway, we have
the type, and the other thing we need is the maybe those two as well. Yeah. And there is yeah.
Okay.
And we also need the n of environment variables. So you suggested to use this.
Yeah, we can use that.
There's a package from T3, right? Pretty nice package that verifies
env Next.js. But it also requires Zod, so it's a bit heavy. But it's on the backend only, so doesn't really matter that much.
So the idea is to detect as soon as possible that we defined the required environment variables. You don't need to do that, but it's pretty convenient, I would say, to have a configuration like that.
So basically,
we define contract, right?
Yeah, we define contract. We import one function, and then we define that schema on how to validate the end variables, but it's completely off topic.
Yeah, it's optional, but it shows how maybe it should be done in production to avoid unnecessary problems, I would say, down the line.
Okay. So what do we want to pass in here?
Yeah, so we could define it, what it should be there on the server, on the client. It's pretty flexible.
So it's called just server, or?
Yeah, it's server, and then we can define, and there is also like this convenience, let's say, field is server, which we can check.
I think it's optional, yes.
Yeah, so maybe we could...
But let me see. Runtime env, right?
Yeah, so for the purpose of this route, we need public key from Discord.
So we can attach it to Discord public key.
Yeah, Discord app public key, or yeah.
And or I can just copy from existing.
Yeah, this one.
Yep. From existing code base, and then we also need to pass it as the
runtime.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's also one minor thing. Yeah, you already did that. So it's a module, right? The extension is...
Yes, MJS.
We don't need to dive into that, but
or it could be TypeScript, but then there are reasons to keep it as a JavaScript file, because if you, and it's very Next.js specific, if you wanted to import this inside of your next config.js, you will not be able to import the TypeScript files. So that's why we keep it as an MJS file. But we also add this annotation TS check, which makes sure that the types are checked by TypeScript, even though it's a JavaScript file.
Yeah, so maybe let's maybe do a small pause here, but I hope it's not too overwhelming. The idea here is we try to show you things how they should be, and let's say production setup. There's still many things that are missing, and we'll be adding that, but at least starting from to have the good base, right? I'm just checking the chat. Yeah, there's Sonia writing an interesting. I think I didn't know about this. She's
yeah.
You can use different template, if I understood. Yeah,
from T3. Yep. Either way, let's get through the validation of the signature. So, like I said, the request coming from Discord will have two special headers. One of them is called X signature ed25519, which is the name of the algorithm. And the other one is X signature timestamp, and we need to get both. In case of any of them is missing, we return null, meaning that the validation failed in our case. Then what we need to do is to take the body as text. It's very important that we do not parse it here as to JSON, because we need to keep it in the original shape as it came. And then we use the NACL function
just to verify.
To verify, we create a buffer from timestamp plus raw body. It's specified like that in the Discord documentation, so it's really simple to copy and paste. And then we provide the signature, and then we provide the Discord public key, and everything goes as a hex apart from the body.
So we concatenate all that into one.
We get the information whether it's valid or not. And if it's not valid, then we return null. And if it's valid, then we can assume, even though it might not be 100% correct, actually, or in the save, but we assume that the shape of the response is correct and typed by the Discord, and it's either API ping interaction or API chat input application command interaction.
And now we can parse it, so we can return the actual, let's say, body in a JSON format.
Yes. So we assume It might have been better to actually parse it here. I mean, using Zod or something, but
to have additional check.
Yeah, but it's good enough. Mm.
Yeah, so just to repeat, this process is required even for development and Discord. So that's why we are doing it now. And yeah, so we can now, in our endpoint, we can just, so get the request and get the interaction, which is described in the JSON that's Discord is sending to our webhook.
Exactly. And we get the interaction or null. So we need to check if there is no interaction. We assume that the signature was invalid. So we just return 401 error.
That's the first scenario. The other one is that, as you said, there are two types of requests that are coming. The first one is the ping, right?
Yeah, the interaction type.
Yes.
Is. Yep. So we could really switch on that, or just do this.
Yeah, we already have the types, so it's
ping,
and then we can just return a JSON.
If let me interaction type application command, right?
Yes, the second one is application command.
And there will be third one, I think, model submit if we go into that route.
Yeah,
but either way,
we will do that later.
We can also, in case it's an unexpected or not supported interaction type, we can just return, I don't know what, response dot.
Maybe JSON simply.
Or maybe something like we did for the.
Or maybe that, yeah.
And say 400 invalid unexpected interaction type.
Yeah, we will cover that later.
Yep.
So now let's, so if it's ping, we will be returning pong.
Yeah, it's funny because this is also required for registration of the application. It won't even register, it won't even save in Discord if we do not implement the ping pong interaction kind. So we need to return response.json, right?
Yes. Type interaction response type. Yeah, you already have
interaction response type. Yes.
But inside, it satisfies the API interaction response contract, let's say. And the interaction response type is the value that goes into the JSON.
API interaction response. Yes,
exactly. Sorry. No, it's okay.
And type is?
It's the one you wrote, .pong.
.pong. Right.
Yeah, so that's the first scenario that happens. We are receiving ping and we are responding pong. That's required by Discord.
Yeah, there is a lot of going on here actually, because with the satisfies operator, we are actually both returning the JSON and validating that it fits the type that's required, that's expected by Discord at the same time. So we don't have to do it in two separate steps or so.
Yeah, that's pretty convenient. That's maybe slightly high level TypeScript, I would say, but for people who already know that.
Yeah, but if we did a typo here, for example, it would be an instant error. Or if we returned something like this, it would be also an error because it's type checked at the same time as.
So just a little convenience, I would say. And now the actual, let's say, meat, right? The actual logic that will happen. So we are receiving, the interaction type is application command. So we're receiving a command and we can now extract the name of this command here.
This will be similar, but okay.
Yeah, we can handle the command. So we can just, it's
so
just.
Let's do this. Let me zoom out a little bit because there are too many fields to fit on my screen.
Yeah, there is interaction data and name simply inside this.
Exactly, name.
We can assign it to a variable and then we can.
Yeah, because it's there's also one step that we didn't talk about it yet, because just creating this endpoint doesn't make Discord recognize what kind of / commands we support. So we actually need to have a separate step where we register all the available / commands to Discord. And we need to create a separate script for that to do that. So maybe we should pause this piece for now and try the registration flow for the commands.
Okay. So in that case, we need to. So how would you approach that? I mean,
handle commands clear. To do.
Okay.
Classic. So what I would need to do is add tsx to run a script like a bin script or whatever, and then we can have a file register commands .ts, and we need to register the commands in here. And we actually have this. I'm not sure if you wanna.
Yeah, maybe we could just
copy and paste.
Yeah, copy and paste it because we're already, I think, spending a chunk of time on that. But
yeah. Oops. Because we didn't even get into the AI part yet.
But we will get there. We are just talking for 20 minutes now, so I think it's good.
Interesting. Let me see, because we have something wrong with the...
yeah, you can call this in our, like, you can use module, MTS, and extension, I think.
Oh, yes.
That's how we solve that, because I think it's because you are importing the...
Yes, I think target option, module option is set to yes system. No clue. But we have the yes next.
And if you reload, maybe...
And target. Where is target? Oh, there's no target anymore. This is what the Next.js generates the TS config without target anymore. Yeah, now it works. All right. So what's happening here? We are actually calling the one of the API endpoint side of Discord manually. We concatenate the Discord API v10 application / application ID, which is generated via the developer portal / commands, and we basically just call fetch. On that, we pass the Discord boat token as the authorization. We use the put method, and we pass an object with the
commands
array of basically of objects. And then there is error handling. Doesn't really matter. We could as well skip all that, and it would be all fine.
Yeah. So just putting like registering simply the commands, and what's important is the actual command. So maybe we could...
Yeah, we need to create the file with the commands.
And it would be very simple.
Commands ts, I guess.
So we can just export. We registered 2 commands. The one is ping simply again, and the other one is review, which will be used for reviewing the code.
So we export an object, right? With
yes.
Ping.
Yeah.
And review.
And review. And these are also objects, each of them, that satisfy this API application command, partial.
Application API command? No.
API application command.
API application command.
Yeah, and partial,
yes.
Yeah. And here we have just 2 things: the name of the command and the description. Right. So
name is ping.
Yeah, we can.
The description is even
optional. Yeah, so we don't have to pass that. Yeah, and the same here. Yeah, review code. Okay.
We could improve the types a bit here because we are repeating this 2 times, but let's not focus on that for now.
Yeah. And once we are just registering those in Discord.
Yeah, so let's see, we import it here, we then do the object values and so on and so forth. Let's see if, and let me copy and paste maybe the tokens that we have. And pnpm tsx register commands ts. And it registered all commands.
Worked.
Yeah, there is some feedback as well. Yeah, basically it worked. So now we've registered the commands. Discord knows about the commands. There are just two, ping and review. And now we can get back to the handler. And now we know that this name, interaction data.name, could be only one of the commands that we have specified, which is, let me import the commands.
Yeah.
Ping or review. Basically.
It works. And here we can do if. Yeah. To ifs or switch or like a very something like pattern matching, but for JavaScript.
If command name is command.ping.name, for example, we do this. And basically.
Yeah. So for ping is pretty easy. We can just return JSON. And here we need to return channel message with source, the interaction type.
Come again?
Yeah.
So this one.
Exactly.
Actually, the Copilot is starting to learn what we are trying to do, so it's starting to be more useful. Yeah.
So that's done, and the actual part is the when the name is registered. So in this case, yeah.
And I just wanted to make it really clear. We do not write code like this on a daily basis. I mean, I probably wouldn't nest those ifs inside another if inside the if. And I probably wouldn't do this satisfies. I would probably split it into separate functions to handle each of the commands separately.
Exactly.
However, yeah, this is
given the time constraints and that we want to show you the whole picture. Yeah, it needs some reorganization, maybe.
Okay, so we can actually maybe test this out or not, because there is an interesting problem that will come across as soon as we start testing this out with the like AI models, because Discord expects us to reply with some kind of response in I don't remember 3 seconds, maybe 2 seconds, 5 seconds, and usually it's too short of a period of time for our AI models to run. So Discord will just fail, assume that the request failed, and it won't work. So we'll need to actually change this flow from this synchronous flow into a fully asynchronous flow.
And how we can do that?
By returning different kind of response.
Yeah. So so what you were saying is instead of like returning the actual response, we will be returning that we are doing something, right?
Yeah, we'll tell Discord, hold on.
Yeah. Something is like been done in the background.
Yeah, and then
the model is analyzing the code.
And then the, if I remember correctly, there is this, I don't remember the name of the field, callback URL that we can use, right? Callback ID, no. Maybe just ID. Because then we will return the information that we are doing something to Discord instantly, and then we'll do something in the background. And then in order to inform Discord about the new result after the AI model replies, we'll need to call fetch to a specific endpoint using this specific ID of this specific interaction to inform it that it's like it's all related to each other.
Yeah. So in our like a code that we prepared in advance for this session, we are just returning the response type model, right?
Yeah, and
then we are like attaching to it later when the AI model responds.
Yeah, we can do that, but I'm afraid we won't have time to implement the whole flow, because with the model, Discord shows the model, then we need to fill the model, the inputs in the model. We need to build the form first here, fill the model, submit, then handle the model reply again, then inform Discord about that it has to wait for another response, and the flow is much more complex. It's also way more powerful and allows to do different kind of flows. However, in this case, I would simplify it a bit and just maybe tell it that there is the third channel message with source. Is that the thing? and that's it. And tell it that it basically tells Discord that we are working on something and it should wait.
Yeah, so in the code that we will share with you, with people that are watching, it'll be more, as you say, elaborated and
more sophisticated.
More sophisticated, yeah.
Okay, maybe let's. There are two things that we could do right now. One of them is try.
Sorry to interrupt you, but there was a funny comment in the chat from our favorite person, Ald. Hey, Ald. So Ald is asking when the AI part is starting. So there is, please hold on. We just want to give you like the whole picture. Yeah, there is the
AI part starts in 2 hours.
No, the AI part starts soon. So as you say, as you said, let's maybe now write the function that does the actual review.
Yeah, I wanted to try two things. Either do that, and actually the AI part will start. But now that Alt asked about it, I don't really want to do this. So maybe instead we will focus on trying to run this bot on our Discord server. How about that?
Yeah. We could see how it's. Or maybe we could start with that from the very beginning and show it how it works at the beginning of its life as well. What we built, I mean.
I mean, you mean before?
Yeah, before.
Yeah.
Starting coding.
Let's do this. I have Discord.
Hopefully it works.
Hopefully I don't have any. Yep. So we have this this Discord server. Let me zoom in. And we can, there are two commands that we've registered, as you can see. It's not the one that we wrote right now, it's the one that we wrote before the live. It's running on Vercel, actually. So I can ping the bot. Let's see if this works. It works, responded Pong. And now the, oops, I cannot spell. And now the review, and there is a sophisticated flow where it shows the form inside of a model, and it has also another like thing why we did this. The reason why we did this was that the limit of number of characters that we could submit in a response, I think it was just 2,000, and in the model it's 4,000.
Much more, yeah. So we can. But that's just because for this project, eventually we want to build a code review for pull requests. So there won't be even interaction with Discord. This is just the beginning, something to show how the initial interaction with AI model could start.
And now I copied the part of our code, which is actually responsible for signature validation, and I pasted it here, and I click submit.
It was pretty fast. How did you do that? Because those models, they take some time to respond.
They do? I don't know.
And let's see, does it make sense?
Yeah, there is our code, and there is a code review. I cannot make it any bigger without.
There are some issues.
Creating
there is no type defined for the request parameter in the function signature.
But there is type. Well done. The function does not handle errors that might occur when calling request text. This is actually a valid point. The function signature mentions the return time as API interaction or null, but the function actually returns JSON parser or body or null. It should be consistent with the. It's not completely clear, but I think it means that we should use Zod to actually parse and validate the JSON. Yeah, but it's pretty good, right?
Yeah,
so
it's pretty fast.
One suggestion is completely wrong, one is okay, and the other one is correct. So I would say it's 50% valid.
So now let's assume maybe we can maybe copy the code we did.
Consider breaking the single function down into multiple smaller functions to improve readability and maintainability.
What one of the people, Sonia, suggested as well. Thanks for the
areas of strength. Good use of TypeScript type system. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so let's maybe now try to focus on the AI part, how it's being done. So we need to write a function. So now we have, let's say that the Discord setup is mostly clear, let's say. There are some like things that are very particular to set up for Discord in this case, but we get the command and let's imagine we get the body. And the body is the actual code that you're
so
pasting,
basically
right?
what we are getting is
a snippet of
code snippet, which is a string, and we also return a string, right?
Yeah, we can return a string, or we can return something more sophisticated later on.
Yeah.
And let's try to implement that. So we will be doing that using different
Copilots
code reviewed.
Suggested we should just hardcode code reviewed.
Yeah, so
or something I do.
Looks good to me. Okay. So here we can use the OpenAI library, right?
Yes.
And nice thing about this library is that most other model providers, they make it compatible with OpenAI.
Yeah, so they need to, because the OpenAI is the king.
Yeah.
And if you want your users to, you want your product to be as hassle-free as possible, right? So as little effort to switch from OpenAI to your product.
So it's called OpenAI, but in fact you can like connect with this package. You can connect to different
Is it
vendors.
just OpenAI, or is it like OpenAI / something?
It's OpenAI.
Cool.
So we have that, and we can now use it. So we can just create an instance of that. Yeah, it's I think default attack. Yeah, it's a default.
Okay. Let it
export.
Be. Const OpenAI new OpenAI. Okay. Yeah, that works.
So we create an instance of that, and then we can pass API key, and we can pass optionally but that would be useful later, the base URL, which is the part that allows us to use different vendors, because they provide through their own platform. Yeah.
So let me update this env.mjs file real quick.
Okay. And now we will be using the chat from.
But we also need to provide the model, or it's no.
Here now, and the actual
OpenAI.
Let's say
chat completions create.
Yeah. So the idea is that we will be sending, let's say, a list of messages. In our case, it would be just one message here, and here you can define the model.
Okay.
So you can use. We'll be using GPT-4 Turbo Preview.
Okay.
Which is the latest model, if I'm not mistaken. And here we define the message that we'll be sending. So it will have the role of a user, because that's what the user wants. And we'll be asking, we will define the prompt. So we can say something like, please review this code, and we'll be concatenating that with the code the user provided in Discord, right?
Yeah, but we need to also specify the role, which is the, what is it, assistant?
User.
All right, obviously.
Just user.
And content.
Yeah. And the content is the prompt plus the code that is provided.
Yes. So,
yeah, something like, please review this code.
Please review this code. Obviously, we have much more sophisticated prompt.
Yeah, we can. Hopefully we can like play with that during this live and see the results. How changing this prompt will impact the review process.
Okay, so now we have the completions, assuming that it works. So
you can, we can do many things here, because now I think the essential thing is how we define the prompt and how we pass information. So, for example, we noticed that when you use the backticks around the code snippet, I think it's better. It provides better results.
Yeah.
as you were like in the Markdown, yeah, something of that sort, as you do that with
yeah. So it knows it's
when you write Markdown,
code,
something like that. Yeah, exactly. So it's more.
Okay, and then we return the completions, but it could also be null. So in that case, what could we do?
I think you could just do the question mark at the choices, right? And I think
we can just
or something like that.
Let's ignore it for now, because normally we need to handle this and treat it as an error, but it doesn't really matter for now.
Yeah. So because the flow with Discord was so complicated, but we wanted just to describe it. I mean, we spent on this, I think, maybe 20 minutes, or maybe more.
More like 50.
No, because we were talking at the beginning about the general idea. But here, maybe we could use because we are using Next.js, so maybe let's just create a simple form and let's make it simpler for testing this, because we want to focus now on the AI part. So we want to test how the prompt is created.
Yeah, this is also another advantage of using Next.js, because we can just, I don't know, plug it in to the front end, and we don't have to deploy it every time, or we don't have to use tunneling. We didn't even talk about this, but in order to test it on Discord as a Discord bot, we need to use tunneling. You need to be online, and if you want to test it locally without the internet, for example, or have very fast feedback loop, it's easier to do it via the basically Next.js app. So
yeah, but I hope the information we provided, I think that was the most complicated part about the Discord, the one we discussed, right?
Yes.
Once this is like clear, you can receive the content, which is the snippet, and now we can like focus on using the snippet through using various AI models and see what are the results. So my suggestion is that let's just create a page with a form, and we'll be submitting the form directly to this model to see the results.
But how do we see the results?
We can. I mean, the simplest possible way would be to display it on the same page.
Yeah.
And instead of, because normally we would need some kind of a persistence layer. Yeah. But let's maybe skip that, because we are already like 1 hour. So I suggest we just code it directly into the action, and we will be just revalidating the same page. What do you think?
We can do that.
So it would be stupid. In order to just get to the AI part faster.
Okay,
sacrifices
so what
for
we are
AI.
basically saying is that we should do this.
Something like
server.
That. Yes.
From data is from data. And we'll do code snippet equals from data get code snippet to string, for example.
Yeah. And here we pass the code snippets to the, let's say, our function that does the review. And we display the review on the same page.
How do we display a review on the same page? We could like mutate the global variable. I don't like this.
Yeah, it's not something that we could do.
Will it even work?
I think it would. Yeah, I think it would work.
Okay, const. I don't know.
It needs to be an object, I think.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, result or something. Yeah, something like that.
It's really stupid.
Yeah, but typing it's even funnier.
That's really stupid.
And then we can display the results. It already provides the
revalidate. Or we could make it this page dynamic, but it doesn't really matter. Will it work? We'll see.
Yeah, so let's see if we can pass something to the model and if it's returning the actual value.
Tomasz Sikora asked a question. What LLM model did you connect to do the review? It seems faster.
Yeah, that's the secret. We will talk about it in a moment.
Oh, that's a beautiful UI. Const x equals 42. Connection error.
Yeah, so let's see. What happened here?
It's some kind of OpenAI error, actually.
Connection refused. So it's doing the request.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it's not. Can we check that we have the API key and the?
Yes.
Yeah, and base URL.
Oh, it's local.
Yeah, exactly. It's the yeah.
Yes.
Because we will be showing in this live also how to connect
in a second.
Yeah, if you want to build your own model, how you can connect it.
The model, or you don't have access to it. Oh, okay, I'm using my own key instead of yours. So that's why I don't have access to GPT-4, I think, because I stopped paying for. Let's do the 3.5.
I can send you my key. Do you want it, or
no?
And share it with everyone? I don't want that either. No, I think it's something else.
No, I know. It's because we are not using OpenAI, actually.
What do you mean?
We are using the other
the secret
thingy. What's the model called? Do you remember? Mixtral.
Yeah, we can use Mixtral.
Can you just
dash 8 x7b dash 32768. Yeah.
Is this the name?
Yeah, that's the name.
Now it
works. I'm relieved.
I'm not.
I can now check the comments. I hope people are still with us.
I'm really unhappy that we did it this way. Oh, we don't have Tailwind. I cannot even style it real quick. Anyway, it gave us some kind of feedback, right? Let me read it. Happy to review. Given the code snippet is just a single line with a constant variable named x, set to integer value of 32, there isn't much to review. However, I can provide some general feedback.
That's pretty nice.
However, what we could do is actually write an intentionally buggy code.
Yeah, the one you.
Yeah.
Can we just do the word wrapping?
On like what do you
on
mean?
The page, on the web page?
Oh.
Maybe we need an AI for that. Maybe, yeah, well, let's not use something like that. Exactly. You're reading my mind.
Better? Okay.
Yeah, it's better.
Now for var I equals 0, I plus plus I, set timeout.
Yeah, that's good.
Let me make this.
Is it something is missing? No, it's okay.
Console log I. So what should be the result of this code?
No idea.
Let's see.
It's too complicated.
Right, it's a very well-known bug. It's like this task that you would get if you applied for a software engineer, JavaScript engineer, like 5-10 years ago. Every time you'd get the same question. What would be the result? And the result is that it logs the 10 times the same number instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It logs 10 every time because of the var scoping issue. Now it's not really concerned anymore because we can just use let or const, but let's see if the bot can handle this. The callback function logs. However, this code will not behave as expected. The issue lies in the late binding of the I variable in the callback function. By the time the callbacks are executed, the for loop has already finished and I has been incremented to its final value 10. So it actually works.
Yeah, it actually works.
Brilliant.
Maybe let's give some other examples. Maybe we could paste something what we wrote for Discord integration, the famous Discord integration.
Like what?
Something from this route file, or I don't know. Maybe the entire. Paste the entire thing. I just want to show the audience how fast the model responds. Yeah, it's like just 2 seconds. Maybe it was. I don't know how you feel it, but it's almost instant. response. What we could do here is that maybe let's quickly add the markdown.
Next.js
remote,
MDX remote.
Something like that would be nicer.
Yeah.
As we so now it seems that the model is responding in the markdown format.
Yep.
And this way we can make it nicer. Yeah, so we just need to use that and just pass. Exactly. Instead maybe of this div, you need to pass it as a prop, which is source, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're not mistaken.
And let's see. That's a quick. Yeah, much nicer.
Yep.
If we had Tailwind, we could also
but
like
we
make
don't. it. Let's not overcomplicate this. Anyway, we can try another model maybe, or maybe try running this locally, but with a much shorter.
Let's try another model. There is one called Llama 2, 70B. And let's.
But does it work with the same endpoint or?
Yes.
So.
Llama 2L 2 dash 70B dash 4096. I wonder, is it typed?
No, only some of them are.
Yeah.
The ones provided by OpenAI.
Yeah, because it's OpenAI, of course.
And then if you want to provide any others, there is no type error, which is great. They allow passing anything, but there are no code completions.
Longer.
This is much slower. Yeah.
But it's still relatively
insecure direct object reference. Whatever.
Yeah, so let's maybe talk. So maybe if you could comment out the base URL without showing it in the code, maybe slightly higher.
Yeah, I can.
And let's test the speed now, and let's because now we need to change it to let's say GPT-4 maybe.
I'm not sure if I have access, but let's see.
It's called Turbo Preview, I think.
I deleted the code accidentally.
No worries.
I don't have access to that.
So the key is different, right? Okay.
But maybe 3.5 turbo. This maybe works.
That's strange because.
Oh, I know what's wrong. The key I need to, yeah.
Yeah, of course. It's a different
key. Different
key. Yeah.
And then also, it's actually optional. Anyway, do I need to restart or?
I think you showed the secret now, but
doesn't matter. It's your key.
Yeah.
No, we will obviously invalidate all that after the live. Seems to be working.
Yeah.
Seems to be doing something.
6, 7.
Oh, no.
Yeah, 7 seconds maybe from the OpenAI.
But it's much shorter in the review.
And it's 4, right? Or 3?
No, it's
Turbo Preview, yeah.
Let's see this one.
Wow, it's pretty long.
It's
already 15 seconds, I think. Will it work?
Yeah, that's not even in my final form.
Let's wait a little bit.
I tried again.
It's pretty. Yeah, but the point is, I think everyone who works with those models know that they are often slow because it's understandable, given how much they can do.
Yeah, that's really slow.
So while we wait, maybe we could say how we made those like first interactions much faster. So instead of using OpenAI, we use this like a new thing called Grok.
Yep.
So maybe let's open the Grok page. It's pretty cool idea.
How do you spell it? Grok.
Yeah, with no, it's Q. Grok is it's
another tool.
Yeah, you're trolling me, but yeah, it's this one.
Yep.
And it's pretty interesting company. I wonder if the audience. I think some of you probably. Yeah, that's the. I'm not sure how much time it took, but OpenAI took a lot of time compared to the initial interactions. So Grok is an interesting company because they approach this problem with new dedicated hardware architecture, let's say. So they developed their own machines, and they are compatible with OpenAI. And that's why we can use, instead of using, maybe you could show the whole file without the, yeah, you're right.
So this is the...
Yeah, so we need to just switch the URL for Grok.
Yeah.
And there is this compatibility, let's say layer, which is the path name in the API. And if we go maybe back to, I'm not sure if you're logged in, but maybe we could log into the Grok playground. But yeah.
Yeah. I'm not logged in, and this is the browser where I'm not logged in to anything, so I won't be able to.
No worries. But anyway, they provide us, if I'm not mistaken, free models now. Yeah, and the responses are instantaneous.
And we also get the, in case of this model, we get the suggestion how to fix this code just by changing the var into let ES6 syntax.
Yeah.
So this is pretty amazing.
This is pretty amazing, and this makes this whole project. This could be something that could be built as a product, I would say, right?
I'm wondering if we can try maybe local model.
Yeah.
On my Mac right now.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Because I actually have a llama.cpp compiled locally.
Yeah. So what do you need to do in order to like
download it, compile with certain switches, and then get a model, pre-trained model.
So maybe
quantized model. So.
So wait. So how much? Maybe which switches did you use, and how much time did it take?
It's my secret. No, you can select if you want to use the GPU or CPU. I didn't select anything, so it uses GPU, which is not that smart given that this computer it's an M1, so probably CPU would be faster. I'm not sure. Then you can also add some other options. Basically, if you do not select anything, it just works. So so you can just run make or CMake or GMake. It supports all of them.
And how long did it take to compile this?
I don't know, 5 minutes maybe. It's really, really quick.
So it creates a binary, right?
Yes.
A server.
A server, exactly.
That listens, that you can like start on your computer and listens on localhost.
Yeah. And then you also need to download the pre-trained model and this GGUF format. And in this case, I used just one of the suggested ones from Reddit or something. It's not that huge. It's like 3.5 gigabytes. Also fits into my... It occupies like half of my memory on this machine, so it's okay. And it's quantized model, meaning that it actually does some rounding of the floating point numbers in order for them to fit into to 7 bits, in order for them to fit into RAM memory. So the results might not be perfect, but it's also much faster and works locally. So yeah, why not?
So the idea is, again, the same. So we are starting this as a server locally. It listens on port 8080, right?
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
You are not mistaken.
And then we can just switch the...
Yeah, we can just switch the URL to localhost 8080. And we can keep on using the same library.
Yeah, the same package.
It's pretty amazing, but it might take a lot of time.
Do we need to change the model field, or it's...
No, actually it's ignored in this case. So let's see if I just do this, const x equals 42 and click on review. We'll see that something is working, something's going on.
But it will take, I think, some time.
Yeah, like, oh, I think it works. Yep. And it's not that bad. The code you provided is a JavaScript code snippet. So, I mean, this is amazing given it works on my local machine. And
yeah, you don't need, let's say, internet connection, right? To
yeah,
play with that
it's just
and refine it.
3.5 gigabytes. Okay, let's see if it works with our bug.
Yeah, so playing with those like local models will take much more time.
Yes, but it's also very satisfying because you can actually train them yourself.
And if you're thinking about building a project out of this, it could be always interesting to just at least know how to be independent.
Provided blah, blah, blah. And it actually recognized that there is a bug in this code. Expected behavior of this code is that it will log numbers from 0 to 9. But since all the timeout calls use the same I variable, they will log the value of I at the end of the loop, which is 10.
And suggested
a bit of an older solution that was, I guess, 5-10 years ago. It was totally accepted answer. It's amazing.
yeah, it's given that
I'm
it's
surprised.
Run locally.
Yep.
And the idea is the same. We could also try one more model. There is like a lot of, let's say, buzz now around this model called Claude.
Claude. How do you use it?
So we need another package. So in this case, it's not compatible with the OpenAI package, Node package.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's not ideal. But let's just show how it could be done.
Okay. What's the name of the package?
So it's Anthropic AI SDK.
I think
Yeah, you wrote it correctly.
No, I did not. Did I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dash AI / SDK, and at the beginning you need to add the. I wanted to say monkey, but the ampersand sign.
It's not ampersand. It's at.
It's at. Oh yeah, sorry. Of course.
Okay. No, I misspelled it. I'm pretty sure. Why would you open a company that people cannot spell the name? No. Yeah, there's one H too many.
Okay.
Okay, now what do we do now?
Yeah, so now we need to, maybe let's create another function similar to AI review 2 maybe. And
export const AI review 1.5.
Yeah, and now we need to create an instance of Anthropic. Similar to how we did with OpenAI. So you need to default import, yeah. Or we can call it whatever we want, because it's a default.
Okay.
And yeah, so we in this case they have a slightly different way of using it. Yeah, so we pass, but in fact it's default, so we don't need to pass it. We can just create an instance, and that would be given that this key is in our.
But it's not in my.
It's not in yours.
No.
Okay. So
is it in Vercel?
No, it's not. So maybe can I somehow pass it to you now? I wonder.
I don't know.
I don't want others to see it.
No, we can add it to Vercel, and I can do Vercel pool. About that? Does it work?
Yeah.
Okay, but what does it?
Yeah. What else? So they have messages now and
create.
Yeah. And the model we can use is the newest one. It's Claude 3 Opus. Claude, yeah, this exactly, this one. And messages is pretty similar to.
So messages is basically, from what I can see, it's the same.
Yeah, it's the same. So
we also need max tokens.
Yeah, I set it in my example to 1024. It's just another way of But the general idea is, I would say, the same.
Okay, so we get the message.
Yeah. So
what now?
I added the key to the and we return. And here it's a bit more tricky. I did a reduce on the message content because it's a type. I don't what's the name? It's content block. It's an array of content blocks they return. So we can do reduce and we can concatenate
or
the
we
text.
can map and join.
Exactly.
I guess.
Or we can map and join. Yeah. That's the response.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You added to Vercel, right?
Yes, I added it to Vercel. But I added it as a and. Maybe I should give the proper name.
Vercel.
Wait. Let me just change it. So it's
doesn't really matter.
It's now okay. Yeah, you can just use it, and it should work.
Oh, I'm in the wrong. I need to do this in the old repository because it's connected to Vercel, but Vercel pool.
Yeah, let me check the comments. Are people still with us? People are laughing about the monkey. Yeah, Andre is suggesting something interesting, that the responses should be streamed, in fact, right? It shouldn't be returned, and that's what the AI package from Vercel is doing, let's say almost automatically for us.
But then we need to do it on the client side, and we want to keep it on the server side because to keep compatibility with the Discord bot.
Yeah.
Where we don't really stream.
But if it's like a regular chat, it's on the server in this case, and the AI package it's like does it automatically. But that's how it should be done. Yeah.
Okay. So I've added the key.
And just replace the.
Are you sure this, if it's called Anthropic API key, this will be used automatically, right?
Yeah,
so I don't need to.
Yeah, and let's just replace it in exactly here, and let's see. So let's test this model.
Monkey.
Yeah, I think it will take a bit of time because this is the largest model they have. They also suggest that for like a smaller task, you can use other models.
That works. Okay, maybe let's test it out with our buggy code.
But I have impression that it works slightly faster than OpenAI. I'm not sure. Maybe we just do a few tests, so it's difficult to say.
But not as fast as the
maybe
Grok.
Just, the Grok is like order of magnitude faster, and that's what we've been using. Yeah, it gives some results. So to summarize, we used OpenAI, we used Grok, the fastest one. We used local model.
It suggests the
Tropic.
Nice fix and explains how it works. So yeah, I think it's comparable, but it's also comparable to local model, which is crazy.
Yeah, but at the same time, the local model is not as sophisticated, I would say, as those models provided by those top companies. So now the next step for this project would be because now there is this like a switch, but you can also like force this when you create your prompt to return JSON format, right?
Of course.
We can, for example, say that we would like to have some like a JSON output. And this could be useful in our case because you can do the interaction through Discord. So you're triggering the command we created, review, and then you're pasting the code, or you are just doing a form like that where you're pasting. So relatively simple stuff.
Where was it?
You're looking for
the JSON output?
Yeah. So I think it's
it's somewhere.
yeah. I think it's not the switch on the. It's something you can define in the prompt itself. So you can say, for example,
wait.
use the.
No.
Mhm.
No. I saw it somewhere.
Maybe some models, provide it as a parameter, but if you provide it as in a prompt, it also works. But
it's
what
also way more sophisticated prompt. This is what we have with a Discord bot, right?
Yeah.
It's not as simple as please review this code, even though the results now were surprisingly good.
Yeah, exactly. So the next step would be because if we can respond in JSON or maybe provide the code as JSON as well, the idea would be to, for example, have a pull request, right?
Yeah, maybe you can get the comments to specific lines of the code.
Exactly.
And then maybe you can add the comments from the bot to GitHub, for example.
So the GitHub is expecting when you're like annotating the pull request, you can automate that with through their REST API, right?
Yeah.
And you can send like a JSON that specifies the line or the range of lines.
Yep.
And as a response, you are also getting, when you're reviewing pull request, you're reviewing, you can see that it's as a JSON. So each file is a.
Yeah, actually, John Smith asked the question about this. Can we automate this and use it during PRs in GitLab or GitHub whenever PR merge request is created? And this is exactly what we'll be doing during the course. This is just the basic idea, but with some prompt engineering, so to say, we can get the proper response from the AI models that are applicable to and can be used to post on GitHub.
So maybe because I have it open, maybe let's be more specific. I will paste it to you, Michał, on Discord. Just the exact. If you could open it here on the.
You can paste it on this channel, I think.
Okay, I will do it.
Because I don't want to share a private conversation with everyone, you know.
But this is an example of a PR, right? And if we could see, first of all, let's see how the request looks like in the browser. So it's API GitHub, of course.
Oh, yeah, I mean the URL.
The URL, yeah. So it's repos. In this case, we are checking the Sailor.
Sailor
request.
storefront.
Yeah, because it's there's a lot of interesting pull requests. So we can refer a specific
number of the PR and /files.
So someone suggested some changes, and as you can see, we see what changed. It's the diff format, right?
Yeah,
so
the patch field.
Exactly, the patch field specifies the numbers, and we can feed that to the model, right? Those JSONs. Yeah, so it's exactly, it shows that 2 lines were removed, two lines were added, and we can ask model to comment on specific lines. And then if we respond as JSON.
Oh yeah, now we get the syntax highlighting. So it's actually the content of the of the response from GitHub.
On the response from GitHub, yeah. So we can use that for each PR, and then we can ask model to comment on each of those elements in the array for the whole pull request.
Yep.
And then we can ask the model to respond as JSON.
Yeah, to those specific lines, to those specific files.
So it's conforms to the body that is requested when you are like sending the annotation to pull request, right?
So what we actually want to do, not right now, but during the course, is to build an GitHub app that you can just install and enable for your repository, and then with a single command, or I don't know, maybe a ping on GitHub, you'll be able to trigger the code review process for a given pull request.
Yeah,
or the alternative that we discussed was to give a Discord bot where you paste the URL to an open source PR, and then our bot just comments on it. So we are considering those two.
Yes, I'm reading the messages. So Tomasz is asking, he points correctly that Next.js could be is kind of overkill for this scenario. We could use just a node and Express, and that's correct.
Yeah, but I think we talked about this
at the beginning. Yeah, but maybe he wasn't here with us. So just to reiterate, the idea is that we want to build this project as comprehensive as it could be.
As a product.
As a product, yeah. So the idea is that you build something that could be used as a product, so we can add later like configuration, right?
Yeah.
You can add
authentication.
Authentication, yeah.
And doing this in Node.js and Express would be certainly is possible, but it wouldn't be as pretty and easy, and the developer experience would be terrible. So I guess Next.js is a nice choice where it connects the like the API routes and nice front-end framework all together.
So maybe we could show what we built, what we will share with the audience after the live, the code that we have.
There is one more comment. Primasa says that GitHub charges $40 per month per developer for Copilot in PRs in GitHub for Business.
Ah, interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because there's this another startup that I didn't want to talk about, right?
There are a few, yeah. There are a few startups that's doing that. But with this slide, we wanted to show you that it's like relatively easy to build something like that, because the whole idea, I mean, the whole work is being done by the models, right?
Yes.
So maybe we could show the code we built before the live, the one we'll be sharing, because we added some nice things as well.
Such as?
For example, we are throttling messages, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, it's something that's not really related to AI. I mean, it's semi-related because it's not related to AI directly, but it's something that you should do if you don't want to, go broke.
I mean, yeah, you're touching nice, interesting subject, because there's a lot of discussion now that when you are interacting with those models, some people pay a lot of money.
Yeah.
Just by testing and
because they do not cache.
So, for example, when you're building something like that, maybe it could be a good idea to limit how often you ask the questions to the model, right?
Yeah. By the way, I find the option is response format.type, and you can provide the JSON object.
Okay,
here.
That's what you were looking for. Okay, yeah. I didn't know about that.
And it enforces that the response is JSON or an error. Anyway, what you wanted to do is show the throttling. I don't know. We can do that, or we can talk about the course and what we'll be building.
Yeah, but I wanted to show it not as a code, but as a working app.
So, it's available on our GitHub. Discord. We will share the link to join Discord.
But I was thinking about the Next.js app.
The Next.js app.
Our pretty form and pretty configuration panel.
Oh,
but maybe it's too much, yeah.
But we can, we can do that. I mean, let's see.
No, maybe let's keep it as a secret for the.
This works, and now so it's just some stuff that you need to take care of. If you don't want to, I don't know, get denial of service, or I don't know, some bots abusing your API keys and so on. So you need to take care of, like, protect your credit card. Either way. So we'll be building this and much more during the course.
What exactly?
We actually have a website now.
Yeah, and we want to build. So we get a lot of feedback after our first course. So it's funny because we targeted this course for beginner people, and
I think you've mentioned that.
Yeah, I mentioned that. Yeah, and we had a lot of like senior people that were super happy with this, like a comprehensive practical examples.
Yeah.
So in this course, we want to build a 5 like a non-trivial apps. The first one will be code review, like an actual
GitHub application for code
GitHub
reviews,
application that
Slack,
you can connect with Discord and Slack and whatever you imagine, like a chat application. And there are 4 other applications we want to build together with you. So, for example, an app that can convert natural language to GraphQL, maybe,
or SQL,
SQL. Yeah.
This is actually super. It might be super useful for the business people where they use, I don't know, Metabase, for example, and they ask someone to create queries for them. So they actually need a person. They tell the person what kind of data they need, and then the person creates the query. And we could actually simplify this by using a special model, and they could I don't know, ask for any kind of data, like give me 100 the highest paying customers,
Yeah.
and there wouldn't be need for any developers to be involved in that.
Yeah, without like thinking about the actual query or SQL query. And another app we want to build is like a storytelling app. So
yeah, this is actually my favorite one.
Yeah, so we want to build. We partially build something like that where you talk to your computer.
Yeah.
And you ask it to create an application. A storytelling video.
So actually, it generates the story first, then it generates images, and then it even generates the basically makes a video out of it.
Yeah.
And then
Slideshow.
it also it could even be a video, depends on how sophisticated you want to get. And it also generates voice.
It generates voice, and you can interact with it with your own voice.
It's even
because as you saw, the grok is so fast that you can like do the command with your voice, and you can get almost instantly the response. So this changes how the UI is like.
Or if you're a busy parent, you could like
just ask for a story.
Generate a story that's told with your own voice, and then play to your kids, and you don't even have to see your kids anymore.
Another idea is to build a plugin for Zoom where you analyze the videos.
Yep.
Those applications exist already.
Summarizes the videos.
Startups,
you don't have to join the call. You just add the bot, and the bot does it for you, and it summarizes in 2 sentences. So the saying that this meeting could have been an email just becomes even more real.
Yeah, and again, the idea is to show you everything, like all the nitty-gritty details. So how to like get the video, maybe how to analyze it, how to convert it to text, and then everything that's needed to have like a very comprehensive solution. And finally, we want to build something like a AI brain for companies.
Enterprises.
The idea is to build 5 apps.
It's actually from my personal experience too, where when I joined new companies, usually I get this kind of onboarding for 1 or 2 weeks. But more often than not, the information is in the onboarding. It's usually not in a single place. So it's usually spread across, I don't know, Notion, Google Drive, Confluence, Slack, and often the information is conflicting between it. It's not up to date.
Yeah, it's outdated.
So it's a bit of a mess. So we wanted to build an AI powered application that actually summarizes and creates an onboarding process for new hires automatically out of the information that it finds all the available resources that the company shares.
Yeah, and we want to like repeat what we did with the previous course, where it will be very time intensive, I would say.
Yes.
Because we want to build those 5 apps in 5 weeks.
Yeah, so basically this allows you to fire people from a company. It replaces HR department like instantly.
So we'll be building one app each week, and seeing how far you can go with it, and hopefully build maybe a product out of that. But that's not all. Another thing is that we'll be, like next week, we are moving to San Francisco.
Yeah.
And we'll be staying that for several weeks.
I'll be visiting the USA for the first time in my life, actually.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
So we will be going there because we will be talking with some of the founders of the companies that we will be showing during the course.
Some of the founding fathers of AI.
So for example, we'll be meeting with people who are creating APIs for like a voice recognition or like voice to text transcription.
The hottest products in Silicon Valley.
We'll be meeting with or like people who are creating those startups around images or storytelling, and we'll be incorporating that into the course. So that's the idea. And I'm not sure if we will manage to do that, but the idea is to vlog like every
What do you mean
maybe?
We won't manage to do that? Of course we will do that.
I mean, it's difficult.
We're actually bringing in like a video production crew with us. So even if you're not happy with it, they will keep on rolling, and it will be published on your YouTube, whether you like it or not. So
so that's the whole idea. We want to like see the revolution happening from the place where it happens. Yeah, firsthand, where it happens. Talk with the people.
So follow us and follow our vlogs from San Francisco for the next 4 weeks.
All those like interviews will be available, and
Yep. And the course starts on the first week of June.
Yeah, that's the idea. So it's 5 weeks.
The course, yeah.
And
2 weeks more to get everything done and finalized.
Yeah.
Certificates, obviously the live community on Discord, and we'll see what we can build together with the community. Because with our previous courses, we've built some amazing applications, very impressive. And now I think that there is a potential to build something truly recognizable worldwide.
Yeah, because that's correct. Like previous editions, I would say. I mean, that's another course, completely different. But in the one we created, many people used the knowledge they gathered to sell the storefronts they created. So it was pretty inspiring. And the idea is to push it to the next level, to really create 5 products that could be evolved by each person, and to give it a spin, your own, like a personal spin. And maybe because the selling is the most important part, as we said at the beginning. And if you're able to sell it, then maybe there is something interesting to do here. There is another person, Lionel, asking why we used Next.js. I think we already answered that 2 times, but maybe let's answer it once again.
There is no reason. We just like Next.js.
The idea is to be able to quickly create a product like base. So with Next.js, it gives you like a lot of things out of the box.
MVP or POC.
So it's not only something that solves the actual problem that we were like discussing here, like interacting with the AI models or like connecting with Discord, but adding other things like user authentication or like all other things that you would need when you're creating something like a SaaS, let's say, or like a project that like an indie hacker or someone who wants to.
Yeah, so you don't have to spin like 3 separate repositories or 3 different applications in order to build your API and model and front end. You can just do it all in one and validate real quick. And if it validates, then the API routes in Next.js are just web API compliant. So you can easily move them, I don't know, to Cloudflare workers for infinite scalability, basically. So there's no vendor lock-in in this case.
Yeah, but Leonel is saying that he joined. No worries. Glad you're here. That he joined later, but we will be also using other tools.
Yeah,
as
of course.
Mostly Python, I think.
Python. We will be using a lot of low-level tools, vector databases. I don't know, compiling the tools, the models.
But the core will be TypeScript and Next.js because we want for you to be independent with each of the project, and we want to
as pragmatic as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
And we believe this is the most pragmatic choice for web development.
Yeah, if later you decide to add something, you can like easily do this. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So this is the last few days in Poland. Next week we are flying to San Francisco, and I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And maybe there's some other questions about the code we try to build today, and the full like scope will be available on GitHub, so you could like really connect Discord in this case, and then you can easily change it to Slack. With Slack is slightly easier, I think. So there is Krzysztof asking. Yeah, I think the case that you, Krzysztof, are describing may be using.
I don't really see the relation to that, because you can still have the, I don't know, Next.js or Nuxt or whatever to build your core of the application and then do ML, AI, custom stuff in Python.
Exactly.
So you don't need to build the whole API, the whole backend in Python.
You could just have like a one, I don't know, endpoint, or something exposed. Because as long as you're doing it yourself, I think it's okay, right?
Yep.
But if you're doing it as a team, you need 2 types of competency here. You need like a front-end competency, or like a JavaScript, and the Python one. So it's like if the project evolves, it's becoming more and more complicated because you have like 2 different silos of knowledge. And with the approach we are proposing is that we want to unify it as much as possible. So keep it like everything tightly connected. Like
also, it might make sense to separate those two on later stage of the product development, but very unlikely that it makes sense at the beginning.
Yeah, at the beginning, I think it's the best approach for me is to just give the most value for the consumers, right? Create something that people want, and then think about the architecture. So that's kind of what we are trying to do here. Yeah. So I think that's pretty much it. Almost 2 hours. Yeah, the code will be available on
GitHub, and you'll be able to join the Discord server as well upfront in order to test our tools that we'll be building. And see you on YouTube, I guess.
Yeah, see you on YouTube,
Instagram, and
next
everything.
Week. Yeah, follow us and let us know.
Yeah.
Thank you. See ya.